you have to know why you save your money. And the reason why I talk about this so much is because I grew up in a traditional Indian house where in traditional Indian culture, the thing that you do is you go out and make a lot of money. You become a doctor, you become an attorney, you become an engineer, you become an accountant, you get a good salary, and then you spend no money. You live in a very small house, you drive a Toyota Camry, and you save all this money. You make 150 grand a year and you save $100,000 a year. Now the question is, why? Well, if you ask most traditional Indian households, they'll tell you, it's so you have a big bank account, because that's what provided a lot of financial stability, a lot of financial cushion, and just a lot of stress-free living because you had this big bank account. But if you really want to build wealth, you have to think a little bit bigger. Saving money is great. It's better to save your money than blow it at Gucci or Sweetgreen. No more Chipotle because we know what's going on with the Chipotle portions. But what I want you to understand now is, what is your goal when it comes to saving your money? So I'm going to go over the 3 different goals that you can have when it comes to saving your money. Number 1 is you got to save money for an emergency. Number 2 is you want to save money for a purchase. And number 3 is you want to save money for your investments. When it comes to your emergency savings, this is cash you have to have. Every single person has to have cash put aside to protect you against an emergency. Some people call this an emergency fund. Some people call this a rainy day fund. I don't care what you call it. This is money you put aside and you don't touch unless you have an emergency. And no, Amazon having a Cyber Monday deal is not an emergency. This is money that you don't touch unless something really goes wrong. You lose your job, something breaks, something really bad happens. That's when you tap into this money. How much money do you want to have here? I would say somewhere between 3 months to a year's worth of expenses, depending on where you are in your life. And I know that's a huge range, but it also depends on who you are and where you are. If you're 25 years old, you're not married, you have no kids, you have very little financial responsibilities, you don't need 6 months or a year's worth of savings at this point. Maybe it's only a few months. But if you're 45, you got kids, you got financial responsibilities, you got a wife, you got a husband, you got things that you got to take care of, well, maybe you don't want to have just 3 months. Maybe it's 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, depending on your risk tolerance, to make you feel more comfortable to have cash put aside. And also, if you have a business, you also want to have a separate emergency fund for your business as well, because if things go wrong, you want to make sure you can keep making payroll for a little while. So understand that this emergency fund is important for you, and if you have a business, that as well. Second, if you want to make a big purchase, you want to buy a home, you want to buy a car, you want to buy a nice watch, you want to buy a nice vacation, you can save money for these things as well. And this money can go into a separate bank account. For those of you that are financially organized, I highly recommend that. This way, you don't have to rely on debt to buy these things. And thirdly, save money for an investment. And this is also going to depend on what your investing strategy is. And what I mean by that is some of you are going to have an investing strategy where every time you get paid, part of your paycheck is automatically invested, which is great. Some of you are going to have an investing strategy where you're going to get paid and you're not going to automatically invest your money because you're looking for a good investment opportunity. You're looking for a rental property to purchase. You're looking for a good stock at a good price. You're waiting for a good opportunity to go out and invest. Because you want to invest your money, you're just looking for the right opportunity. That's fine. But you want to make sure you have a separate bank account to do that. And you don't have to pick one or the other. You can do a hybrid as well. I have a hybrid investing approach, and I can't tell you what to do. This is what I do. For me, I have a system where every week money is pulled out of my bank account and is automatically invested. This happens whether the market's up or down. It does not matter. This happens every single week. Then I also have a system where I'm putting money aside into a different bank account. I actually have multiple bank accounts. I have one bank account to put money that I'm going to use to go out and buy real estate. And then I have another bank account where I put money to go out and buy stocks. For these accounts, I'm looking for an opportunity that I believe is a good undervalued price. Something that fits within my criteria, something that fits within my risk tolerance. But I'm not automatically just throwing my money into my investments. This money is sitting into a high interest account right now, just waiting to be invested. But the goal with this money is to be invested. It's not just sitting there to sit there. I have a bank account for my emergency money. I have a bank account for my spending money, and I have different bank accounts for my money that's going to be invested. This way, I have a goal for why I'm saving my money. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.